And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how you go from making maybe a little bit of money to a whole lot of money. We're going to be discussing the law of compensation and how to get you more money in your pocket, in your bank account. So stay tuned. Hey, what's going on everybody? Brian here, Revenue Pro Tips. Welcome back to the Revenue Pro Tips channel. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the law of compensation, ladies and gentlemen, and what that exactly means for you. But before we do that, I want to say welcome to those of you who are joining us here on the Revenue Pro Tips channel for the first time. Every single week we bring you tips, information, and even online-based opportunities to help you get your money right, whether that be in your personal finances and or your business. All right. So if you're just in a need of some money, or you just want to make a whole lot more and stack on those different streams of income, consider subscribing by hitting that little red subscribe button below and the bell notification right next to it so you don't miss when we drop new content, upload new videos. All right. Also, if you get great value from this video, consider subscribing. Let us know you like the video also by hitting that thumbs up button as well. All right. So let's jump on into today's video and talk about the law of compensation. Let's go. All right, guys. So, just like there's up and down, there is night, there is dark, light, day, so on and so forth. I think you get the point. There is actually a law to being compensated, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, there is a law that governs how much money you're going to earn based on the products that you sell, services that you provide, all right? And, so what we wanted to do today was just make those of you who are unfamiliar with the law of compensation aware, because we talk about money often on this channel. That's pretty much what the channel is about, helping people get their money right, all right? So we want to make sure that you understand that there are laws and rules that govern money and being compensated, okay? And so reason why I think this is really important, because many of us, most of the world really is unsatisfied. I just think about here in the United States, with over 70% of the population living paycheck to paycheck, people are not happy with how much money they're making, yet many of them feel like they're stuck, or they don't really know how to go about creating or generating more income, all right? And this is not knowing this, having lack of knowledge of the law of compensation is a big reason for that. It's not taught in schools, right? They don't really teach you much about anything in terms of money at schools. And for over 70% of households, at least in the United States, it's also not taught in their houses. All right, so we want to make sure that people are aware of the law that governs compensation. Now, jumping right on into it, there are 3 points that we're going to go over really quickly that make up the law of compensation. So, point number 1, the need for what you do. All right, so the need for what you do, your job, your business. What is it that you do, and is there a need for it? Okay, I wouldn't recommend, for example, some of those of you out there who maybe have a job and you want to start a business. I wouldn't recommend going and opening a bookstore. Okay, now don't get me wrong. There's plenty of like boutique bookstores that are really nice places to go to visit. People go there. They might have coffee, tea, whatever is permitted there at the bookstore, right? But people aren't really going there for the books, right? They may be going there for an outing. Some people do like to go to like establishments and chill and read a book. It's really relaxing. I like to do that at times too. However, for the purpose of buying books, and if you want to sell a whole lot of books and make it a really profitable, legit business, you don't want to start a bookstore. Why? Because Amazon is crushing that, okay? The need for what you do. How many people need to come to your store and buy books? Do they really? With Amazon touching billions of people have access to Amazon, right? There is not going to be a great need when people could just get it from the comfort of their own homes and get it with Prime within a couple of days, all right? That book, and maybe at a much better price point too, okay? So what you want to do is focus on maybe starting a business where there's a great need, instead of reaching your local community by opening up a bookstore where you're only going to have access to maybe hundreds, maybe a few thousand, depending on where you live, the local community and things like that. That's not going to take you out of your job, basically, okay? Plus you have all the expenses, the overhead of starting a local or physical establishment, all right, when it comes to business. So you want to start a business where there's a great need, where perhaps you can reach millions or even billions of people, just as Amazon has done, all right? So the need for what you do, is there only a need from a handful of people, a few thousand people, or is there millions of people who need your products and services and will come to you for that? All right. Number two, your ability to do it. All right. So how good at whatever it is that you do? How good are you at doing this? Whether again it's a service or if it's a product, how well are you making your products? All right. You know, there are people who think of a business. There's pretty much no business that may be better than another, right? There's no business. There's not many businesses that exist that there's not multiple people doing it. But why do very few win and the majority lose, or at least don't do as well? You know, why is Amazon so great at the things they're doing and dominating e-commerce when Walmart has been around for a long while as well, and they have online services, products, and things you can buy online? Because Amazon's ability to do what they do is non-comparable, okay? Why was Steve Jobs, you know, so successful? Why was Apple so successful? Because Steve Jobs' ability to do what Apple does has just been unmatched, okay? I personally have had Apple products, and this is not a I'm against or for Apple. It's just an example, but I feel since, you know, the late Steve Jobs has gone on to the next life, that in terms of innovation, at least when it comes to Apple products, there has been a huge decline, okay? So again, I'm not for or against Apple, all right? But what I'm saying is that I think Steve Jobs' ability to do what he did for Apple, for that company, has been unmatched, all right? And he was the reason why Apple became what it is today. But, you know, his ability to do what he does has been unmatched, right? So when it comes to your business, your products, right, your ability to do what you do is going to have a big factor on how much and how you are compensated, okay? Number three, all right, so hopefully you guys can see this. Number three is the difficulty in replacing you. So are you somebody who is easily replaceable? All right. You know, the chances are, or let's say this. Why do CEOs of companies like Apple and Amazon, Target, Walmart, some of the largest television networks and stuff like that, why do the CEOs who sit on the top of these companies make the most money? Because they're not as easily replaceable as, you know, the everyday average employee, okay? Someone out there on the front lines of the business, you know, for Amazon, warehouse workers, right? Those are people who they could just replace at will, at will. There's always people looking for those opportunities and willing to take those jobs, right? And there's not as much education may be required. I'm not saying that people who have those jobs are not educated. That's not what I mean at all. But there's just a lot more people who might meet the requirements for that position as opposed to an executive level or as high as the CEO or president of a company, okay? Those people are compensated because there is a great need for their ability to do what they do, and also it is extremely difficult in replacing them, right? There are not as many readily available people who have the ability and the capacity to be a CEO of a large corporation or company like there are warehouse workers, salespeople, things like that. Even though they are salespeople themselves, but the person out there knocking doors and things like that, there's many more people who meet those qualifications than there is to actually run the whole company. All right. So these are the 3 points, guys, that make up the law of compensation. These are the things that will determine how much money you will actually get paid. How much money are people willing to exchange with you for your ability, for the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty in replacing you. So with that said, that's the law of compensation. I hope that you have gotten value from this video. If you have, let us know by liking the video, hitting that thumbs up button, also share, comment below. If you have heard of this before, if you have any questions about what we went over today, or you have anything to add to what we got here today, guys, we're always trying to add and increase value within our community here on Revenue Pro Tips. So drop what you have in the comments below. With that said, make sure you're following us on all social media platforms at Revenue Pro Tips. And this is Brian. We will see you soon.